Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, I'm a little wonky. Let's just sort it. Hello. Even a closer view. That's a bit better. That'll be good for the standing and the whatnot. Here we go. That's lovely. All right. So let's start in a seated position together. Do a little bit of breathing to start off with. Regulate some energy in the body and therefore mind and mood with it. So shut down the eyes. Just take a second here to settle and calm. Making sure that the lower back is slightly lifted so that the belly feels open enough in such a way that the breath can move expansively, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Start to settle in. Take a nice long, deep breath in and relaxing the shoulders as you breathe out. Start to allow for more stillness in the body. And as you do this, start to recognize how that sort of emphasizes or brings a contrast in terms of allowing you to identify where movement is happening. You can feel maybe movement of the belly and chest through the breath. But also you start to recognize more subtle aspects. There's a heartbeat there that you might be able to feel. We can look at it in a slightly different way. Your energy is moving. And indeed, your mind is moving. So you can recognize how all those things are moving together and intimately linked to each other. And all in all, this seamless interaction of body, mind, energy, emotion, all of them seamlessly woven together to create a mood, a state of experience in the moment. We want to start to sort of embody a mood of, it's a balance between being energized, yet quite calm or quite open in that sense of perspective, receptivity. So start to deepen your breath slowly, breathing more fully down to your belly space. Let that rise up into the chest. Exhale starts to take a little bit more time, slowing down. We'll get pretty much straight into it here. So start to breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 8 seconds. 4 in, 8 out. Leave it with you and just for a few rounds by yourself now. 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. After your next exhale, just continue that count. Come back into a nice, slow, gentle yet deep breath, one that's consciously executed. So nothing automatic about the breath at all. You're creating the quality and the condition of it, willfully. And when will is involved, intention is needed. So the intention behind that breath is to nourish the body, to steady the mind, and to shift mood in such a way that it complements the practice, doesn't fight the practice. So efficiency coming through the breath on all levels, physical, mental, energetic. And maintaining that quality of focus on the breath, you start to blink open the eyes and we come straight into cat-cow. So roll over the knees, come onto all fours, tabletop position. And once you arrive there, start to move into it. Take an inhale to press the belly down. And then exhale to arch and raise up through the spine. And we keep on going just like that. Inhale to press. Exhale to arch. We keep on going one breath to one movement, synchronizing breath and movement together to create a somatic state of coherence. So you're actively utilizing your body, movement matched to breath, with a deep sense of attentiveness that all in all start to create a state of presence. So basically put, pay attention to the sensations of the movements as you go through them. We'll just take one or two more rounds now. And then coming back to a neutral spine, go ahead and lift your left knee up off the ground and cross it over the right knee. And then starting to slide the left leg back. So it kind of feels like half pigeon if you're familiar with that, but not quite that position. Take a little bit of movement side to side, left to right. Just sort of feel out the glute, the hip. One or two more breaths here. And then back through the tabletop position to lift up the other one. So right knee lifts, then crossing at the legs to then slide that right leg back into that pigeon-y kind of shape again. Just take a couple of breaths moving, wriggling a little bit around on the leg. And one more nice long breath. And then back through the tabletop for downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Bit of movement to get into dog. Paying close attention to the state of the body. Now, quite often we think that to stretch the body, to sort of open it up, requires as much force as possible. And that's certainly not the case. You're having a matching of a balance between definitely challenging the physical body, so sensation is there and strong, yet you're watching how far you're pushing yourself. There's a sensitivity to what you're doing. You're attentive, intimate. You just take one or two more breaths, feeling out the body, not bypassing sensation, rather utilizing it as a form of awareness. And then starting to walk your hands towards the back of the mat into a forward fold. A little bend in the knees is welcome, but shift some body weight around the feet, sort of moving the hips a little bit as you're doing that. Take just a couple more breaths. And then gently roll up the spine through to standing. Reach your arms up at the top nice and high. Catch opposite elbows above your head. Stuck your belly in and squeeze your butt to lean over to your right. Inhale back up and over to the left. Inhale back through center, raise the arms, and then folding forward, hands all the way down to the ground. Walk them out into plank position, shoulders above the wrists. Hold there and round through your upper back for just a moment. And then maintain that quality in every plank position, rounded upper back. We keep on going here. Tap your left knee to left elbow and step back to plank. Right knee to right elbow. Step back to plank. One more each side, left. Step back to the right. Step back and pull back into down dog. Inhale through to high plank again, and lowering the knees, drop the chest all the way down until you're flat. Taking the hands off the side of the mat. Inhale, chest lifts into cobra. Exhale to lower straight back down, and structure the legs, point the toes, firm the thighs. 2 more rounds, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale coming up. And exhale, moving down. Butt to the heels, child's pose, and then straight up into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. And an immediate walk to the top of the mat, feet to hip width apart as you arrive there. Halfway lift to flatten out your back. Exhale to fold forward. Roll up your spine with a bend in the knees. Reach up and stretch up nice and high. Hands to prayer at heart center and sit the butt down into a wide-kneed squat. Arriving there, lift the heels up off the ground. Separate the knees a bit more and then drop the chest between the thighs, reaching your arms out in front of you. Look to the floor and hold here, breathe here. 2 more big breaths. Now keeping the heels lifted, stand all the way up, reach up and stretch up nice and tall, and then plant the heels to fold forward all the way down towards the ground. And then halfway lift to lengthen out your spine. Step back to plank position, shoulders above wrists. And lower down into chaturanga half plank. Pull the chest through the arms, up dog, and into downward facing dog. Hips up and back. You take 2 or 3 more breaths there in down dog. And then heels up, knees bend. Look to the front, walk, step, or jump, top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to stand all the way up, reach up and stretch up nice and big. And then folding straight back down towards the ground. Halfway lift, flat back. Step back, plank position. Into chaturanga, half plank. Pull the chest through, up dog. And into downward facing dog. Hips up and back. 2 more breaths there in down dog. And we keep moving. Heels up, knees bend, look to the front, walk, step, or jump, top of your mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up and stretch up, nice and tall. And the exhale folds you straight back down towards the floor. Half lift, and then left leg only steps back. Puff the chest forward, fingertips. And fold to straighten through the front leg into pyramid. Very gentle, conservative movement. 2 more times. Lunge into the front knee. To exhale and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale to fold. Pause there in the fold. Now, starting to lift the front ball of the foot. Drop the back knee all the way down to the ground. Halfway lift again. And then fold back into half Hanuman, settling into this shape for maybe 2 or 3 more deep breaths as you are. And as you walk the hands forward, simple twist, bend the front knee, pick up the back one and raise the right hand up to the ceiling, reaching up nice and high. 2 more breaths there, keeping the back leg super firm and stiff. Now, a little bit tricky as we go here. As you bring the right hand down inside your right foot, very gentle into high skandasana at the back of the mat. So butt's not dropping down. You turn your left toes out. Chest lifts, hands to prayer. Butt is pretty much in line with the left knee for just 2 more big breaths here. And then walking the hands back to the top of the mat to drop the back knee down into low lunge. Chest and arms raised up. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back, twist open. In contrast, squeeze your left butt cheek so the hip presses forward. And then flip the front palm and reach up and back. Now, take 2 or 3 more breaths here, but really lift the chest as best as you can. Good. 1 more big breath here. And now, maybe hands to hips or onto the front knee, but a little tricky here. Push out of the shape a little bit. Turn the back shin to the side of the mat, so out to your right. Straighten your front leg, sliding it out, gate pose. Right hand to the right knee, left hand up and over into the side bend. You take 2 or 3 more breaths there. Really squeeze your left butt cheek nice and firmly here. Take 1 more big breath. And then as you lift the chest, place your left hand down at the back of the mat. Ground your front foot, your right one. Now, take your time with this one. Right hand up. Do your very best to pick up your left knee and pin it in towards your elbow. Pull it in and hold it in. You take 1 more big breath there. Keep the knee as it is. Bring your right hand down. Flip the left leg over the right into wild thing. Step it outside the mat. Turn the chest, lift. 2 more breaths there. And in 1 big step, left foot up between your hands. Now, Skandasana, high Skandasana to the other end of the mat. Bending into the right knee now. Left leg straightens, but no lower than the line of your knee. Sinking low, chest up. 2 more deep breaths here. And as you walk the hands back to the original top of the mat, to your right, 3-leg dog. Right leg lifts up and out for a 3-leg flow. High plank to low plank, chaturanga. Pull the chest through into up dog and into downward facing dog. And as soon as you arrive there, heels up, knees bent, look to the front, walk, step or jump, top of your mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to stand all the way up. Reach up and stretch up nice and big. And the exhale folds you straight back down towards the floor. Half lift, flat back. Right leg steps back, runner's lunge. Puff the chest forward. And then straighten through the front leg to fold. Couple more. Lunge, bend the front knee. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to fold. Now we pause there. Start to lift the front ball of the foot until you can lower the back knee all the way down until it lands. And then halfway lift again. Folding back forward. Nice deep breaths there. Couple more big breaths. All right, walk the hands forward. Runner's lunge, find simple twist. Left hand raises up. Turn the chest up. 2 more big breaths there. So as the left hand comes down inside the foot, turn to the back of the mat or to the right. High Skandasana, bending into the right knee, left leg straight, and chest lifts, hands to prayer. Butt no lower than the knee. Take 1 more big breath there. And then walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee to the floor. Chest and arms raised up. Squeeze your right butt cheek now. And then left hand forward, right hand back. Open twist to your right. Flip your front palm and reach up and back. Right hand is sliding down the back of the knee. Chest lifting in contrast. You take maybe 2 more big breaths there. All right, back through the center. Now push out of the lunge a little bit. Hands onto the front knee. Turn your back shin to the left. To the left. Straighten through your front leg and kick the heel out a little. Squeeze the butt now. Left hand, left knee. Right hand up and over. Side bend. Gate pose. Couple of nice deep breaths there. One more big breath. And inhale, lifting up. Okay, here we go, a little bit of work. Right hand onto the floor, and then ground the left foot now down nice and hard. Go ahead, pin your right knee in towards the elbow and hold, squeeze. Stay for 1 more big breath there. As the left hand comes down, turn the right leg over the left one. Wild thing to step it outside the mat. Chest lifts as you arrive. 2 more breaths there. And in 1 big step, right foot up between the hands, Skandasana at the other end of the mat, high Skandasana, bending to the left knee, toes turn out. 2 more breaths in that shape. And then turning to the original top of the mat for 3-leg dog, finding a 3-leg flow. Left leg up, high plank to low plank, chaturanga. Up dog finds downward facing dog. One more breath there in dog. And then right leg raises up towards the ceiling. Right knee to left elbow, cross it underneath your body. Inhale, lift it back up. Knee to the nose and pause. Kiss it down to the floor. Pull it back to the chest and shoot it back up. Tapping the right elbow nice and high. Inhale, lift it back up. And then stepping through, right foot in between the hands. Crescent lunge, just an arms raise up. In this shape, go ahead, interlace hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders, lift the chest. Now drop the back knee to hover, just off the ground. Squeeze your left butt cheek and lift the chest higher. 2 more breaths here. Release the back knee to the floor, but keep the hands in this shape. Go a little deeper. Squeezing the left butt cheek still. If you want to pick up the back foot, go for that. Maybe you take it into the hands. That gets strong pretty quick though. So take your time. Probably best to stay with the foot down if this is just too much. 2 more big breaths, staying sensitive to your own body. And then gently release the back foot, straighten through the front leg, back into half Hanuman. Now, in this shape, just the tiniest bend in the front knee, so you're not locking out the knee joint. Tuck the back toes. Now we lift this into pyramid with the front ball of the foot lifted. So back heel lifts up now, diving the chest over the front leg. 1 more big breath as you are. Warrior 3 to come. Plant the front foot, look forward. Now go slow into this entry. As you bring the chest further forward, lift it a little, then back leg elevates, then the standing leg elevates, so that the hips elevate through the standing leg, keeping the chest parallel to the floor. Your choice with your arms. You take maybe 2 more big breaths. And then as you step back, warrior 2, open the arms, straighten through the front leg, lift the front palm up and back, and reaching forward for triangle. So again, little bend in the standing leg, the front leg rather. Right hand down, left hand comes up. A little turn of the chest up towards the ceiling from there. 3 to 4 more fluid, flowing breaths. And inhale to stand up, flip the front palm to the ceiling, up and back. Back into warrior 2, bend the front knee, interlace hands behind the lower back again. Heel toe the front foot out to the edge of the mat, all the way out. I mean, really create some space. Back toes in, chest lifts up, and then bow deeply forward. Breath deepening here, not shortening. 2 more breaths to go. Hands on the floor, 3-leg dog, right leg lifts up and out, bend the knee, peel the hip open, exhale to fall and triangle, right knee to left elbow, cross it underneath the body, kick the leg out to the side and raise the left hand. Now in this shape, keep the shoulders above your right wrist, just like before. Try and squeeze your right knee to the elbow to tap, and then flip it into wild thing. Left hand down, right leg turns over. Lift the hips, arch the upper back. 1 more big breath there. And in 1 big step, right foot between the hands and crescent lunge, just an arms raise up. In 1 movement here, hands to prayer, left knee to the chest, up, and then kick the heel out in front of you and hold. 1 more big breath like that. Pull the knee in, point the knee down, and then both hands grab the top of your left foot. Do your best with that. Now for some of us, just staying with both hands grabbing the foot is going to be enough. Even making it a little strong by squeezing your butt and pressing your pelvis forward. But if you want to take it a little further, double-handed dancer, chest comes forward a little, puffs out, and then back heel kicks away from the hip. Doesn't have to be a deep one to get a lot from it. Take 2 or 3 more breaths, whichever variation you got going on. Here we go. Warrior 3. Kick the leg out the back, finding a T shape. Just a controlled transition, nothing more, but we linger for a breath in the T shape here. And then set the foot down, runner's lunge, hands to the floor. 3-leg dog once again. Right leg lifts up and out. Bend at the knee, peel the hip open. And now as you walk the hands towards the back of your mat, cross the leg. So right foot steps down, but behind the left one as you make your way back towards this cross-legged forward fold at the back of your mat. Now really relax the head and the neck there. Now you can stay in this forward fold, and it's a pretty deep one on the right leg. Or practice cross-legged crow or cross-ankled crow. You can bring the hands to the floor, separate your knees and drive them up into the upper arms. Butt stays nice and lifted so the head comes down. And then maybe from there, as you feel body weight shift into the fingertips, the feet may be able to lift up. You take 2 more breaths, whatever variation you got going on. And then halfway lift to lengthen out. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat to spin you 180 degrees. Once again, halfway lift to lengthen. Step or jump back into chaturanga half plank. Pull the chest through into up dog and into downward facing dog. Hips up and back. As soon as you're in that down dog, inhale, left leg raises. Bend the knee, peel the hip. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Cross it underneath the body. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to the nose and pause. Kiss it down to the ground. Back to the chest and shoot it up. Tapping the left elbow, high and tight. Inhale, back up. And then stepping through. Left foot in between the hands for crescent lunge. Chest and arms raised up. Interlacing hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders, lift the chest. And then drop the back knee to hover. Just off the floor. Chest lifting. Couple more nice deep breaths here. And release the back knee down to the ground. And in this shape, adjust the stance if you need. Chest lifts again, sink into it a touch more, but maybe the back foot lifts up off the ground and you take it in towards your hands. So the trick with that one is to definitely get some more body weight coming into the front foot. So hips drop a little bit. We'll take 3 or 4 more deep breaths. And release. Hands to the floor. Straighten through your front leg into half Hanuman. Tuck the back toes here. Gentle bend in the front knee there as you lift the back knee up and come into pyramid with back heel lifted and front foot lifted. 2 or 3 more deep breaths. Alrighty, here we go. Start to make your way forward, lunging into the front knee to gently bring the chest forward, 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 and find warrior 3. Back leg elevates, front leg straightens. Stay with breath here. Take maybe 2 or 3 more. And as you step back, find warrior 2. Open the arms, straighten through the front leg, flip the front palm and reach up and back. And then reaching forward for triangle. Reach as far out as you can. Left hand down, right hand up. Little turn of the chest up towards the ceiling. Nice long, steady breaths here. One more big breath. And inhale, lift the chest with the front palm for the ceiling, reach up and back. Back through to warrior 2 for humble, interlace the hands. Heel toe the front foot out, turn the back toes in, chest lifts up. And bow deeply inside the front leg. Lots of breath now. 2 more to go. Hands on the floor, 3-leg dog. Left leg shoots up and out, bend at the knee, peel the hip open. And then coming towards fallen triangle. Left knee to right elbow. Kick it out to the side of the mat. Right hand raises. Now in this shape, get nice and structured in the back foot. Do your very best to squeeze your left knee to tap your left elbow. Hold. Shoulders above wrists, and we flip it into wild thing. Right hand down. Turn the left leg over. Hips turn, chest lifts. 1 more big breath there. And 1 big step. Left foot up between the hands. Crescent lunge, chest and arms raise up. Still facing the back of the room, back of the mat. And nice and gently. Here we go. Arrowhead, sweep the arms back. And in 1 movement, right knee to the chest, up and in, and then kick it straight out in front of you and hold. 1 more breath. Knee to chest. Point the knee down. Take both hands to the top of that foot. Roll back the shoulders. And then it might be enough here, just squeezing the butt, sucking the belly in, or move the heel away from the hip. Chest lifts through the shoulders as you pin the shoulder blades back. Otherwise, 2 more big breaths. And then gently through warrior 3, we try and linger. Release the right leg back, kick, hold for an extra moment. Hands on the floor, 3-leg dog. Left leg lifts up and out. Walk your hands back towards your right foot that's standing. And then when you can, cross-legged forward fold. Left behind the right, folding forward. And once you're there, really make a little bit of movement if you like to, or find crow. Knees drive into the upper arms, rounding the upper back, and maybe the heels start to lift. And we hold, we breathe, we stay. And 1 more big breath wherever you're at. And then turning to your left to unwind your leg. Turn to the left, 180, halfway lift inhale. Step or jump back into chaturanga, half plank. Pull the chest through into upward facing dog. And the exhale finds downward facing dog. And as soon as you're there, go ahead, come back into high plank and lower all the way down until you're flat onto your belly. We'll take some time there, flat on the belly. Releasing, relaxing. Let your breath rate settle, your heart rate settle, and let your spine align to the ground. We'll come towards our shoulder roll here. So take your right arm straight up to the right, and then quite literally roll onto your right side as you step the right foot behind the left knee, outside the mat. Probably have to scoot your right hip a little bit more towards the middle. And we'll settle into some nice deep breaths there. Let the head relax onto the floor. Half bind or any variation is welcome here. Nice, slow, easy, deep breathing. Trying to create release in the body now by shifting mood via the breath. So actively getting involved with the processes of the body. Couple more rounds of breath here now. And then switch, rolling down. Really take a moment in between. No need to hurry on to the other side just yet. Just coming down flat. And when you feel ready enough, left arm out to the left, rolling onto that left side. Switching, moving the hip in a little, and then working with breath from there. A few more breaths here now. Gently rolling out, nice and slow. Coming down to flat on the tummy. And then coming up into seal or sphinx. But if you can give a seal a go for that. But we're starting to the elbows or the forearms. And then taking the hands a little bit wider. Just test it out. Straightening out through the arms. And then maybe the hands walk back a few more inches just to get a bit more stable. And then settling into that. Obviously, if you want a little bit more intensity, you walk the hands back more. And then really try and soften through the throat here. And let your breath travel all the way down to your belly. About 3 to 4 more breaths here. Breathing right down into the belly. And gently release. Chest coming down nice and slow. Easing down. Make sure we lay flat for just a few moments. Jiggling the butt. And then we'll practice a little bow pose here. So go ahead, bend both knees, reach back to the tops of the feet, and then squeeze your butt here and suck your belly in. So try to pull the belly button off the ground a little bit. And then keeping that tension, lift the chest and kick. Breathe into it here. Try not to let your knees separate. 3 more breaths. And release. Just coming down nice and slow. Release the legs. And then get a little jiggle of the butt. Now, resist child's pose and just go back into tabletop position, all fours, hands and knees, to then come up into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, directly into half pigeon. So right shin slides up behind your wrists, back leg extends a little further back, and then walking the hands out and down to bow over the front leg here. Two or three more breaths here now. And then chest lifting up. Back knee slides in behind the front one. Comes up and in. And then sit your butt down. But we're coming towards a seated twist. So the right knee is pointing up. Right hand behind the lower back. Left hand up. And turning to your right to twist. But once you get there, try and plonk your right butt cheek down and lift the lower back here. We'll stay for 2 or 3 more breaths. And then back through the center. Now, we're going to do something weird. So in this shape, I'm going to face the camera. Take your legs out straight. And I hope this translates via the screen. So right leg, my right leg, over to the left-hand side of your mat. So right leg, left side of the mat. Other foot steps over that thigh. Now, your left hand grabs the outer blade of that right foot, and your chest goes in the opposite direction. So away from that foot, pretty much folding kind of forward, slightly out to the right, and hopefully where you feel it is a bit more up the outside of your right leg into the hip maybe, but certainly the hamstring, the back of the leg. Now in this shape, your left butt cheek can come off the ground, but just try and keep your front foot vertically lifted. Don't have to let it start to turn so your whole body's rolling over. And we'll settle into that for maybe 5, 6, 7 more breaths. Trying to relax the shoulders, neck, jaw. Inhale, chest lifts up. Hope that went well for you. We're just going to hit the other side of this. So back into down dog. Take the legs out to the side. Take a flow if you want to take a flow. Otherwise, half pigeon. We meet there. Left shin slides up and forward. Chest lifts a moment. And As you're ready, we meet in this half pigeon, chest sort of laying out. Totally soft through the shoulders and jaw here. And inhale, chest lifts up. Back knee slides in behind the front one. Sitting your butt down and you're coming towards seated twist. So left knee points up, lower back elevates, and then left hand behind the lower back for right hand raising to then twist. Turning to your left. Nice slow breathing once you're there. Inhale, back through to center. So let's sort out the leggies here. Extend them out in front of you for a tick. Little shake. All right, left leg over to the right. Right foot steps over. Right hand grabs the outer blade of the left foot. And you dive your chest the other way. Relax in the neck. Two or three more now. Inhale, chest lifts up. And releasing the legs. Give them a little shake and then grab a hold of your knees and make your way down into your back. As you arrive, feet on the ground, drop the knees from side to side, from left to right. And then go ahead, feet on the ground, bridge pose, tilt the tailbone up and lift the hips up. Hands maybe come next to the ears for wheel pose, pressing the chest up and back. Otherwise, 3 more breaths there in bridge. And release. Hips coming down. Once you're there, and again, knees side to side, left to right. And then shooting the legs up towards the ceiling. You could slide your hands underneath your hips as a bit more support, or grab a pillow. If you wanted to take some other form of inversion that you're familiar with, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we'll just stay here. Beautiful, beautiful shape, Viparita Karani. Super nourishing, relaxing for the body. And then while the legs are lifted here, given that you're not in any other shape, eagle wrap the right leg over the left one, crossing at the thigh, bending both knees, and then shift the hips to the right as you drop the knees to the left and open out the shoulder. If you're coming from somewhere else, another inversion, just meet in some form of twist in the next few breaths. Inhale back up through the center. Left leg wraps over the right one. Dropping the legs down to the other side into a twist. One or two more breaths here now. Inhale back up through the center. Unwrap the legs, hug them in towards your chest. Find happy baby. Grab the outer blades of the feet. Have a little kick out of the legs if you like. Draw the toes towards the floor. Or just a little pedal of the legs. And then starting to release down into Shavasana. Legs to the ground, laying flat. And settling in. Once you lay down flat, take a nice long deep breath in. Gentle releasing breath out. And really feeling how the body is in kind of a deeper state of receptivity. Simply by reinforcing this sensitivity to the body, this internal awareness, you're more kind of informed of how the body is. So with that kind of intimacy here to the body, try and hang on to that quality. Hang on to that closeness to yourself. Don't let your mind get lost in the clouds here into plans or reflections. just a simplified state of mind, experiencing stillness, quietness, and rest. It's time to take a nice deep breath in. Gentle releasing breath out. And starting to just allow for the body to slowly and gently awaken. No rush. When you are ready, wriggle fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. A big stretch at some point, and then come up to a seat with the eyes closed. Hands to prayer at heart center. A moment of gratitude, either given towards yourself or outwardly, in recognition of the practice, your ability to do it, and sort of noticing any impact that it might have. And with that, we humbly bow the head and say to each other, Namaste. Namaste, my digital yogis. Enjoy the week. See you next week for another class. Yeah, pleasure. See you soon.